News. We are live near the 1400 block of Waterloo Road. I'm going to flip the camera around right now to show you what crews are dealing with. A massive fire at a tomato processing plant. We can tell you just in the past few minutes, firefighters have had to re-stretch hoses to get to this fire. We have seen fire tornadoes developing, as you can see right there. It's hard to believe, but I'm standing in the middle of New Hope Road at the edge of San Joaquin County. Drivers told me that the waters here rose so swiftly over the weekend that they didn't even have time to turn around before their cars got submerged in the water behind me. Now, as you can see, these tall metal fences secure the entire perimeter of the restaurant, which means that the burglars had just this tiny window of opportunity to break in. We'll pick any piece of Stockton skyline right behind me, and it's likely that this weekend it will see an increase in cash flow and in visitors. 4 major sporting events expected to bring hundreds of thousands of dollars to the local economy this weekend. Well, the purple beam has been lit atop the Golden One Center right behind me, and even hours after the Kings clinched their dub in the first round of NBA playoffs, fans are still flooding out of Doco, flooding out of the Golden One Center, supporting their team. And if you're wondering what $40 might get you, that's about 2 large pizzas, 11 gallons in gas, and just shy of the plane ticket from Stockton all the way to Phoenix. This is the warehouse in San Joaquin County where election workers are working throughout the night to count your ballots. And as those results get in, we'll be sure to post them here online and on air. And nearly 4 days now since the shooting that took Moses' life, the skid marks are still visible here on California Street. Meanwhile, atop one of those traffic signs sits a city camera, one of the many pieces of evidence that detectives hope will help crack the case.
Yeah, I can't believe all this is happening.
While his family is in shock, they're hoping for justice and holding on tight to memories.
I'm a proud mom, proud of him and his accomplishments, and you know, just knowing that he was trying to figure it out, like figure life out. And I do pray for justice. I pray there's justice, and I know that there will be, and I'm waiting, you know, I'm here waiting. I'm here waiting for that to happen.
Complete destruction, the only remnants of an intense 3-alarm fire in East Stockton.
It was very scary because I didn't know what was happening. Well, how did it happen?
The wind-fueled inferno broke out in the dry grass just west of Stanford Avenue shortly before 1:30 Sunday afternoon. Flames destroying at least 5 homes in its path.
The house was catching on fire in the back. I just got my kids, told my neighbors to get out, got my brother's kids. That's all we were able to do.
A 4th alarm dispatch from the Stockton Fire Department only able to control the blaze after nearly an hour of firefight. Entire city streets like Berkeley Avenue behind me closed down to traffic, evacuated as the flames continue to burn. Meanwhile, a mile north on West Lane,
in the house or outside?
The emotional moment of truth for some residents and families, finding out if their homes were spared from the flames.
I feel for my neighbors who lost their home. The damage that I had to my yard is nothing compared to my neighbors who have a total loss.
The houses across the street were really burning. They came and beat on our door, and all we had time to do was grab our cat and go.
A fire leaving a neighborhood in distress and unsure of what to do next.
Thank God that my kids are okay. My brother was able to get out. All the neighbors were able to get evacuated. I mean, everything's gone, but as long as we're all okay, that's all that matters. And I thank God for, saving us. I mean, the houses are damaged, really damaged. They're all burnt. There's nothing left inside of them. So we just have to wait and see.
And as residents who lived along this row of homes wonder what to do this evening, where to sleep tonight, fire crews continue to monitor the area for hot spots and are now investigating the blaze. Reporting in Stockton, Gabriel Porras, SCW News. It was an early and emotional morning for Jocelyn Eubanks and her neighbors.
1 o'clock, 12:30, we got woken up by the neighbor knocking on our door before he grabbed his hose to basically let us know that the fire was happening.
Instincts kicked in for Jocelyn, who decided to go door to door evacuating neighbors before fire crews could arrive.
You need to do the right thing when you need to do the right thing, and the right thing to do in that moment was to go wake up all my neighbors and make sure they could get out.
Those responding firefighters ultimately finding a woman dead inside of the home after facing flames, entering through the now charred and mangled front doors.
Most firefighters go through most of their careers with only 1 or 2 either injuries or fatalities, so thankfully this is an unusual occurrence for us. But again, keeping in mind safety in your home with lights, Christmas trees, space heaters.
They remarkably walked through that wall of fire and put the fire out instantaneously. It was really remarkable to watch him do it, and then everybody else's house is safe.
It has to end. It has to end.
A stern call from Stockton's mayor at a time when many calls in San Joaquin County aren't going through.
We have become number one in the country at something that we don't want to be number one on. That's wire theft.
From elected officials to law enforcement, authorities say they're cracking down on copper wire theft after seeing a surge in people stealing wires from fiber cables, a critical piece of equipment that gives Wi-Fi to your home, cell service to your phone, and calls to 911 centers.
It impacts our residents' fundamental ability to communicate, and that is unacceptable.
Less than 2 miles away from where authorities were speaking on the issue, ABC 10 came across this scene. A telephone pole split in half with lines on the ground.
These criminals are not the most sophisticated.
That lack of knowledge is what Sheriff Withrow says was on display when thieves cut the lines to the county's 911 center.
A lot of times they don't know whether they're cutting hot power lines that have energy power running through them.
His office had backup plans in place to reroute those calls, but says this was an example of how severe the problem has become.
We also have the state of California who are creating laws that there is no incentive, no deterrent that is out there that stops these criminals from committing this act if they know they're not going to be held accountable.
While the sheriff and elected officials call on harsher laws at the state level, AT&T is hoping that the community will help, offering a $5,000 reward for information.
AT&T is working and will continue to work with law enforcement.
Local officials say they are also considering new county ordinances and adding more cameras.
I think it's clear from all of the folks here, from all different levels of government, that something needs to be done.
We're going to work hard to stop this before somebody gets killed while doing this.
Cement slurry spewing from
their plumbing out of their toilets, their bathtubs, their sinks. It's crazy. Like, I've never seen anything like this.
Sheila Parnell is the children's education director of the Church of Christ, which also houses Houston Christian School.
The cement actually poured out into here. It went into the closets.
The church's pastor and his wife now out of their home with a more than $60,000 cleanup bill, not counting rent or repairs.
And we're not a big congregation. We don't have a lot of money. I mean, it's depleting. We're not going to be able to continue.
The problem traces back to here, the intersection of Tooley Road and Santa Fe Avenue, where Sheila says in December, a city contractor began filling in a sewer pipe with cement slurry before connecting the church to a new line. This causing the cement to spew out of the church building and the pastor's home, making toilets, sinks, and faucets inoperable.
This is the least affected one.
While the contractor declined to comment on the situation, the city of Houston did, saying in part, quote, "As the insurance is not moving on these claims, the city is looking at all legal options available to resolve this." With some cleanup work already underway on the home and church services moved to the lobby for now, congregation members and church officials are praying for a miracle or some help soon.
I just feel like we're stuck. We're not, we didn't ask for this. It wasn't a project we were doing. We weren't even informed of the project, and I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I want things to happen.
Construction work now underway on Casson Road near Durham Ferry Road in San Joaquin County to turn this back into a safe road.
The retainment pond gave way and just sent a surge of water and then wiped out and just tore a hole right underneath the road. I mean, you could drive a truck through it.
In the 15 days since heavy rain caused the erosion and since the road has clearly been labeled as closed, at least 2 cars have tried their luck and their flying skills by going around the barriers, something the CHP warned against more than once.
We go out every once in a while and watch them haul somebody out of the hole, which is entertaining. So outside of that, it's just a bit of an inconvenience, especially for the guys that drive in the hole.
But for others dealing with longer commutes or busy residential streets, it's no laughing matter.
Vivo aquí, para mí está fácil. Las personas que pasan para Modesto, que van a trabajar para San Francisco, todo eso, si ven por aquí todo el tiempo, entonces no. Les daban vuelta y allá y tienen que manejar mucho.
We don't want, several hundred cars an hour at quitting time at Amazon going through our residence here.
And for this convenience store, the road closure has meant an erosion in business, with less people commuting down the usually busy street. Business owners now hoping that the break in sales will be patched up once workers finish installing a new concrete culvert and pavement by next Friday.
It's Gabe Vincent
From dribbling on the courts at St. Mary's High School to the NBA.
Not Jimmy Butler, not Bam Adebayo, but Gabe Vincent.
Miami Heat point guard and Modesto native Gabe Vincent has always stood out.
And that's because he put a lot of work in. And he was one of the best shooters we've had, and certainly was a playmaker as well.
When Green watches Gabe make shot after shot after shot, he still sees the St. Mary's High School varsity basketball star he helped coach.
It bears a lot of similarity to how we played in high school. First of all, defensively, he was tenacious and dogged.
A former teacher, Sarah Burr, also sees similarities.
Every once in a while I still see flashes where like a facial expression or a certain look, and I'm like, there he is.
As she gets her TV ready for the Heat's 7-round NBA Finals series,
Oh my gosh.
she remembers when Gabe spent lunchtime in her classroom.
It was kind of a place where I think Gabe got to just be a kid and not have to be like, because even in high school he still had an aura, almost a form of celebrity.
Even with his popularity around the halls of St. Mary's, counselors, teachers, and coaches all say
he is just a good human being. He's just solid. He came in laser focused. He wanted to excel academically.
While Gabe and the Heat haven't taken home the championship trophy yet, the season alone is a slam dunk for the St. Mary's community and a lesson for generations of future ballers.
I absolutely tell students about him and just that hard work will pay off, and if you have a dream, go chase it.
I'll do Elza. It's a dream come true, honestly.
Living a dream. It's what Stockton natives Johnny and Jake Kosich say they're doing. The two, along with Matt Schaefer, make up Beach Noise, a producing and songwriting trio behind hits by names such as Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem, and more.
As corny as it is, Kendrick Lamar is really my favorite artist.
Their success reaching a pinch me moment when Kendrick's The Heart Part 5, a song the brothers helped produce, won Song of the Year at the 2023 Grammys.
It's pretty surreal, the whole thing. It's something we've making music for the past, pretty much my whole life.
Shouts out Lincoln High School. We're out here at the Grammys.
A shout out from the red carpet heard hundreds of miles away.
Got a couple cameras.
In Joel Munoz's classroom at Lincoln High.
I couldn't be more happier for, someone that I actually know, but yet one of my students that have come, sat in my classes.
The brothers graduated from the school in 2007 and 2016. From Jake's first class projects, Munoz could tell the brothers had talent.
Jake was an awesome young person, very creative. What he did was all about music. He talked about how he loved music.
Still having so much fun doing it.
That talent took the older brother Johnny to LA, where he broke into the band scene, eventually meeting the third member of their would-be trio, who was already working for Kendrick.
We didn't go into this trying to be a Grammy Award winning producer. It was just we were just so passionate about music.
Eventually, Jake joined, and the rest is history.
The coolest thing ever.
An inspiring history lesson and the award-winning sound of success for two Stocktonians that Munoz says will play on repeat in his classroom.
It's been really cool to kind of see certain students really feel oh wow, I sat in the same chairs as these guys.
You just got to be the biggest fan of what you're doing, and I think all things will work out.
From event venues to hotels, tourism officials say it'll be hard to find a place that's not packed this weekend.
All the vendors, security, all the other partner costs that go into that.
From Friday through Sunday, the city will be hosting the NCAA Women's Water Polo Championship, the OTB Open Disc Golf Pro Tour, a Stockton Cargo USLW matchup, and nationally televised fights at the Stockton Arena, featuring the city's own Gabriel Porras Jr.
It's amazing for the city. This is what the city needs, because like I said, me growing up, I never had somebody to look up to, so it makes it easier. It's events, and plus, everybody's coming out and they seen a young kid from Stockton, California coming out here and performing, and it let them know that they could do it. It helps them believe, it gives them hope.
Regardless of who takes home the trophies this weekend, Wes Rio with Visit Stockton says the city will come out as the real winner, with the Disc Golf Tour alone expecting to bring in at least $300,000.
Well, the Disc Golf Pro Tour usually brings in about almost 300 hotel room nights. We have 200 competitors from all over the country, and of course these folks going out and dining and supporting our community. When you're looking at 200 plus professional disc golfers sharing on their social media about the Disc Golf Pro Tour event in Stockton, it has a big reach, and so it gives us great visibility.
And all of this weekend's events are ahead of the city's big Flavor Fest expected for next weekend at Weber Point, also right behind me. For details on all those events, head to our website, abc10.com.